Impact Wrestling is here. Before I get started, I just want to say this. I'm not going to do a review of Crown Jewel. Not a full review. If I do anything, it may be a very short... Well, think of it as like a Raw review mini. Like I used to do, where I talk about maybe one or two things. If I do that at all. I know one person, and you know who you are, said don't review it. It's not... Don't. I might at least say something on it. Because of what's happened on this SmackDown, I might say something about it. So let's get into this. Woo! This was a very full-packed show, and we're getting a themed Impact next week called Final Hour. I do not like these themed Impacts. I know there's some people who do. For me personally, I would rather see a real pay-per-view than a themed Impact. Because a pay-per-view feels more substantial than a themed Impact. It just feels half-assed. Now, mind you, like I said, Impact Wrestling has been producing a lot of great shows. Very rarely they produce maybe one that's average. They've been producing a lot of great shows. So, this themed Impact will probably be very good. But for me personally, I would rather see a pay-per-view. And I'm taking a stand there. A real pay-per-view will always trump a themed show any day. I don't care if it's WWE. I don't care if it's Impact Wrestling. If I was watching ROH or if I was watching Lucha Underground. Themed Impact are shit. Well, not themed Impact. Themed shows are shit. I really believed a real pay-per-view is more important. Now, first thing I'm going to talk about is the Dead Sea and Hit Squad. I'm botching that so bad. Gamma had brought in a new person, which is supposed to be his son. I don't remember his name. It doesn't matter about his name right now. All we know is that they brought in two jobbers called the Beach Bums. For my... why you gotta use the Beach Bums in New York? I'm sorry. There are better teams than some damn Beach Bums. What the hell? You could have called them the Winos then. If anybody knows what a Wino is. But did the match do what it needed to do? Yes, it promoted the Dempsey Hit Squad. And then after it was over and they were celebrating, the Smoke Show comes out and gives Gamma something he hasn't felt in quite a long time. Wood! He got some wood up. Seeing him singing to Scarlett Bordeaux was actually quite funny. Seeing that they're saying to her, this is a 65-year-old man who's been married to a woman for 45 years. He said, don't, shut up. He started singing to her again, and then she walks off. And well, he's not before she says, isn't the Kama Sutra from India? And she said, yes. Do you want to know more about it? Well, yes, but make sure you put it into a video for me, because I'm still doing my talent search. Scarlett Bordeaux, well, Impact Wrestling / ScarlettBordeaux.com. I forgot what it is. It don't matter. But in the end, it was a funny segment. I did enjoy it. The match itself did what it needed to do. It got the Dempsey Hit Squad. Now I'm saying Dempsey. Dempsey Hit Squad over. That's what they needed. The video package between Eddie Edwards and Moose was good. I did enjoy it. And next week, they're supposed to have a match again. I'm hoping there'll be some type of consequence. Because it doesn't feel important enough. They need to do something, either a stipulation or there's a consequence. And I'm not seeing it yet. I'm enjoying the feud because, let's be honest, the one who's really has the right to be angry is Moose. Because his own friend pretty much went crazy, and when he was hurt, even though he was crazy, he went to see him. But then when he gets hurt, and I'm talking about Moose, his friend doesn't give a damn. So in a sense, Moose is justified. And I want to see a consequence for either Moose or Eddie. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense to give them a consequence or some type of stipulation coming into next week. I don't know. I didn't check. If there is one, I missed it. Now, Sami Callihan had a, Rockstar Wrestling, I believe it was, in Ohio. And he wanted Brian Cage to be there, and he was! Sort of. You got a Brian Cage wannabe. The guy is jacked, but he's not super jacked. There's a difference between jacked, this is jacked, and this is super jacked, and Brian Cage, jacked, super jacked. I'm just saying. But in the end, Sammy was getting his point across that he don't care. He's going to destroy the Brian Cage. Now, Brian did do a video package himself, and I really would like to see him talk more in the ring. He talks very well. He does. And I enjoy it utterly. But if it's not in the ring, it doesn't have as much, what would be the right word for it? More like, it doesn't have enough impact being as a video package compared to doing it in front of a live audience. Yes, it's taped, but the point is, if you do it right, the live audience will react for you and give it more for the people, the parents and the kids and all the guys and girls at home. That's what the point of a video package and a promo in the ring gives you. You do both properly, you not only motivate the crowd for your match whenever you have it, but also the people at home. That motivates them to come to the arena, and that motivates them to grab the merch and to keep watching and get other people. That's the way I see it. Now, Eli Drake, I want to apologize that I didn't say anything about Eli Drake wanting to sue Impact Wrestling. The main reason I didn't do it was I wasn't sure how far they were going with this. I just didn't know. That's why I kept quiet about it. Now he's gone to Joseph Park to do a class action. They're in my face. I had to stop right there because you're using Joseph Park as the lawyer again for Eli Drake to get what he wants. And the only thing he wants is the world title. That is what he's going for. There's nothing else. And you know what? I was thinking this. Eli is such a great heel. I love Eli. He's the best heel in the company. And on a consistent basis. He knows how to talk. He's a ring general. He has the look. He has the feel. He has the charisma. He's got pretty much all the tools now for me personally. But what would he be like as a face? I would love to see him turn face and see if he can still get over with his charisma, his talking skills, his in-ring work, telling a story. I want to see him become a face. He doesn't have to be long. Just enough to see where he really stacks up. Because he was a face at one point when he first came in Impact, but it was like sort of an in-betweener. He was edgy. Now he's a full face, which he should be. I mean heel, not face, sorry. Heel, which he should be. But back then, it wasn't really done very well. I really believe with the writing they have now, if they turn him face, he will be interesting. But that's just me, you guys tell me below. Now, let's see here. Taya Valkyrie versus the Tessa Blanchard. Now, I'm not going to lie. When Bound for Glory came and Tessa retained, I said it 100%. Tessa should have dropped it to Taya because Tessa has nothing to do. Honestly, she doesn't. As much as everyone loves Tessa, the be-all, end-all of any professional wrestling, female professional wrestler, I only see one problem with her right now. And I still have my major problems that I still think that she needs more work because something's still coming off, for me, not right. There's still something missing. I will not say that she isn't great in the ring. And I'm not going to say that she can't pull off a promo and that she can't work with someone. As I've said before, and I will say it again, Tessa Blanchard is way better than Charlotte because she can adapt. Charlotte can't adapt. That woman may have ability, but as long as she's like her dad and acts like her dad and performs like her dad, she will never reach true heights. She's nothing. But that's just me. But I say this clearly that right now her major issue is she has no competition. As much as there are issues with her, like every wrestler has some type of character issue that they need to always critique and keep working on, her major problem now, she has no real competition. And it would have been better for her to actually drop the strap and to try and fight Taya to get it back. But I will say this, one, just like Bound for Glory, they had a damn good match. And then two, once she decided that she's not going to end this quickly, that it's been dragged out too long and it's pissing her off, she decides to shove the ref into Taya, and then when it didn't work, she decided to cold cock the ref, and basically the ref ends the match. Now, if this is setting up for another match somewhere down the line, if they have, no, wait a minute, they're not going to do Genesis, they're going to do Asylum in January. I would love it that next week's Impact on Final Hour, or I think that's the Final Hour, that's the name of it, that Tessa attacks Taya and then keeps her out for almost the entire month and a half. And then just before the beginning of January, she comes back and management says that Taya will get a match against Tessa at Asylum for the Impact Knockouts Championship. That would be the best case scenario for her. She doesn't need to be on TV all that time. She doesn't need to be in the recordings. At least that will give us something more going into the next pay-per-view. But this is just me. You guys tell me below. Let's see. The opening of the show. This was the match of the night. And that was Rick Swann versus Willie Mack. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that you got a 190-pound to 200-pound guy who's just over me. I'm like 180 something. And Rick Swann's nearly 190, easily going to 200. And then you got a 280-pound Willie Mack who runs and jumps and does stuff that really should be for a much lighter guy. Now, he's not the exception to the rule. Honestly, he's not. There are a lot of guys as big as him jumping around like him. But I will say this. Because you don't see that many large black wrestlers do it often in a large promotion like Impact. But yes, Impact is a distant second. It is still a substantial, a very well-known promotion next to New Japan Pro Wrestling. I just see it in the respect that this is a very large platform compared to the smaller platforms that are now coming up. But still, Impact is still considered number 2. It's still going to be considered number 2 until New Japan Pro Wrestling finds a way to knock them out and really take a big footstep in the United States and basically destroys Impact. Until then, it's still Impact Wrestling. And seeing him, the Mac Daddy, do his business is really good. That was an exceptionally good match. And I'm not a high-flying... honestly, I don't like high-flying all the time. I like a balance of high-flying, grapple wrestling, and particularly storytelling in the match. You got to tell a story. You got to have something behind it. Now, in this case, there was something behind it because they were friends. This was Willie Mack's first match in Impact. He really wanted something, so he wanted his friend to wrestle with him. In the end, it was Rick Swann who won. And I'm not going to say it was bad to see Rick win. I'm not. Actually, I almost just forgot it was Rich. But in the end, it was still good. But the question is, where did it go from here? Do they continue having these matches to the point where they begin to feud one another? Do they become a tag team? It's hard to say. Now, talking about tag teams. You got LAX versus the Seidelians. Matt Seidel and Ethan Page. I gotta say Seidelians because they care about the third eye. I don't. That was a joke. I didn't hurt myself. But you know what I mean. Was this a good match? It was good. I'm alright with it. I just felt like... Look, I still feel like the OGs should have won. Because as it stands right now, the OGs have nothing. Nothing. They have nothing. Because they were beaten already before Bound for Glory. And they were beaten again before that. When have you seen anything for the OGs who are actually entertaining? Look, the video packages for both LAX and OG were good. But the OGs was way better. I still say right now, King is king when it comes to the promo segments and the video packages. The man is it. He just is. I was never a Kingston fan. You guys know it. But the way he presents himself as the boss goes very well. And I really enjoyed it. But the OGs should have already held the titles. I'm sorry, they should. If anybody's saying no, the OGs should not hold the titles, it must be LAX. What is LAX doing? Now you got the OGs dealing with Pentagon Jr. and his brother Phoenix. Yes, that's trying to still get to the LAX. But shouldn't LAX be going after them? LAX, before this change with the OGs, were boring and stagnant because they were beating everyone. Look what happened with OVE and LAX. It was great until they started beating OVE once, twice, 3 times. I just feel like they shouldn't have such a huge advantage all the time. That's just me. LAX wins. The match was good, quite good. But I still feel like the OGs should be having the titles. Now, let me see, am I forgetting anything? Oh, Jolie, what is it? Jolie, I think Jolie Grace. I could be pronouncing her name. Jordy Grace, sorry. Jordy Grace is coming next week at Final Hour. She looks interesting. And there was one shot. I don't know if I can actually get this, because I'm going to go back to YouTube and see if I can get the full video to see it. Someone made kind of a little error, because they wanted to show how strong she was in doing muscles and exercising on a weight machine, and they flashed her nipple. I mean, you could see her nipple through her shirt. Mind you, it was quite nice. But if you're trying to show how strong the woman is, you really need to be very careful when you did the video. You need to be careful where you have your camera angles. For me personally, understanding to do the show, the second show I'm working on right now, I have to understand what camera angles really make the video. I'm just an amateur when it comes to understanding about how to angle a camera. But I understand if you want to make this person special, you want to make this person mean something, you don't angle the camera right at her titty and at her nipple being shown. They should have been more careful about that. They should have reshot that particular video, that part of the video. They should have been careful when it comes to the montage, because you can see her titty and her nipple sticking right out of her shirt. But that's just me. I'm just being honest. Not being sexist and just being honest. Mind you, look nice. And she's a lovely lady. She seems to be nice. But still, we'll see you next week. Now, the Alley segment with Kiera Hogan. Kiera's the one who made that segment work. She goes to Alley. She says, "Are you alright? I want to know what's going on." Allie's trying to play it off, and she is demanding her to admit it, and Alley does. Now, Alley did a good job trying to show what's the reasoning behind her, saying that since she lost her soul, since she saw Rosemary, she feels like a true darkness is inside her. She doesn't know what to do. And it's Kiera who's saying, "Don't worry, we got this. We are going to end Su Yung because it is about her." Now, yes, the segment wasn't very long for Kiera. But in this situation, if Alley had said it, it wouldn't have made any sense. It had to come from the face. It had to come from Kiera Hogan. Now, if I had to take a guess, since Kiera Hogan is not turning heel, obviously, then if Rosemary is going to come back to face Alley, there must be a major reason. So that means eventually Kiera is going to have a match against Alley, where she's going to try and beat the crap out of her and kill her. And my guess is when Rosemary will appear. That's my guess. And if it doesn't happen immediately, then Alley and Kiera are going to have a feud. That's the only way this is going to work. At least by my perspective. You guys tell me below. Finally, we get Homicide versus Pentagon Jr. A good match. A lot of stiff shots. Damn it, man. You got some stiff chops, baby. I did enjoy that. It was mostly high flying and a lot of impact. I enjoyed the impact way more than I enjoyed the high flying. But not taken away from either one of them. They're both heavy set guys who are doing high flying that can easily break a bone. So I commend them both. In the end, it is, Pentagon Jr. I'm botching this because where does this go? Pentagon Jr. did win. Yes, he did. Then the OGs beat the crap out of them. But what does this mean? Does this mean they're setting up for Asylum? Or are they just setting this up for another themed Impact or just a regular Impact? If the OGs are going up against LAX again, they need to go for the title again. And it should be at Asylum. They should not be doing it in December. They shouldn't. I can understand they drag out Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, but this must be about the OGs finally claiming what is theirs, which is the titles. If the OGs don't get the titles, this really won't mean anything. And then LAX is going to be garbage again. But that's just my point of view. You guys tell me below. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.